This is Jennifer Gonzalez welcoming you to episode 161 of the Cult of Pedagogy podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about 6 EdTech tools I think you should try in 2021. It's hard to imagine a time in recent history when we had more distractions, more challenges, more stuff to think about that is way more important than technology. But as someone reminded me earlier today, the show must go on. You still have work to do. You still have students who need an education. And the tools in this year's Teacher's Guide to Tech can help. If this is the first time you're hearing about the Teacher's Guide to Tech, let me give you a quick overview. This is what I call a digital encyclopedia, basically. It's an encyclopedia of technology. Years and years ago, I asked people who read my blog to tell me what they needed the most, and they said that they had trouble keeping track of technology. So I started with a blog post that I was going to just write out a bunch of tools and put them into categories and talk about what they were good for and link to their websites. And that sort of grew and grew and grew. And then I ended up with a big PDF. And I think that first year I had maybe 150 tools listed. So that was 7-ish years ago. And now I have over 450 tools, and I put the guide out every year. And I make it super linky so that you can jump around from category to category and look at the tools. And then there's a picture of the tool in action and a link to the website, and then also a link to a video that shows the tool in action. And my goal is to just sort through everything so that you can make smart decisions about what you need as quickly as possible. So they're sorted into over 57 categories. There's math, there's science, there's history tools, there's presentation tools, there's audio recording tools. This year I've got 6 new categories. Every year I usually add a couple of new categories. And so this year the new categories are financial literacy, images and icons, keyboarding, media literacy, social justice and anti-racism, and vocabulary builders. There's also a new section about remote and hybrid learning where I have sort of pulled together the best tips that I learned this year about teaching in those situations, and then also linked to the sections of the guide that I think are the most relevant. So the other thing that I do, and if you're interested in the guide, it's at teachersguidetotech.com, and it's fresh and ready right now. And if you're listening in January, I'm actually offering a really, really good discount for 1 week only. So go over there and see what that is. But what I also do every year when I put the guide out is I choose 6 tools that I think are worth a second look, basically, that I think people should check out. Sometimes they're brand new tools, but more often than not, they're just things that have recently come up on my radar that I don't necessarily think a lot of people know about. And I try to get a variety in and things that I think are going to be useful to a lot of people. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So before we get into the tools, before I start listing them off, I would like to thank our sponsors. The first one is Kialo EDU. Kialo EDU is a free online platform that facilitates discussions and debates with students from middle school all the way up to the university level. Using Kialo EDU, students break down their ideas into simple pros and cons, individual elements of an argument that come together into a nuanced understanding of the concepts they're discussing. Whether your students are discussing literature, exploring philosophy, or having a debate just for the sake of it, Kialo EDU helps students to express themselves and develop crucial critical thinking skills. It's hard to keep students discussing and learning together right now, so whether your students are all online at once or split into A-B schedules, Kialo EDU will help you facilitate both synchronous and asynchronous classroom activities. So, what are you waiting for? Create a free account at kialo-edu.com. That's KIALO-edu.com, and try it out for yourself. And Kialo is in the Teacher's Guide to Tech. Support also comes from National Geographic Education. During a school year like no other, National Geographic Education is here to offer support with a space to connect, learn, share, and celebrate successes along the way. We invite you to explore National Geographic Education's free tools and resources to engage and inspire K-12 students wherever they are learning, virtually, in person, or a hybrid of the two. Join the community and the conversation with other educators across all social platforms, including Twitter and Facebook, at NatGeoEducation. Plus, explore all of their free resources by visiting natgeoed.org/learnanywhere. Okay, so let's get into these tools. And by the way, I forgot to start with this, but Happy New Year. Fingers crossed that this year is better than last year. Okay, the first tool is called Mote. That is MOTE. And their website is justmote.me, M-E. Giving good quality feedback is one of the most important things teachers do for students, but it can be so time-consuming, so most teachers don't give nearly enough. A tool like Mote makes it easier to give feedback faster. It's a Google Chrome extension that lets you add voice comments in the comment field of any Google Doc, slide presentation, spreadsheet, or inside the Google Classroom environment. Using voice instead of writing is not only faster, it's also more personal. Students will hear your actual voice rather than having to read dry written comments. And with all the subtleties that voice offers, you have a much better chance of communicating your message clearly rather than being misinterpreted, which can happen easily with written communication. The free version of this tool, Mote, is great, but with the paid plan, you get a longer time limit for comments, auto-generated comment transcriptions, and the ability to save voice comments for reuse in an online library. So that's the first one, Mote, voice commenting. The second one is called All Sides, and you can find them at allsides.com. This year's guide, as I mentioned before, contains a new section on media literacy. And boy, do we need that more than ever before. We are living in a time when anyone can create and publish anything and make it look credible. A time when our students spend the bulk of their time consuming user-generated content. And a time when algorithms are showing us more of the stuff we agree with and less of what we don't. So one of the 5 tools in the news section is called All Sides. This free site offers news from all sides of the political spectrum. You choose a topic like coronavirus, elections, healthcare, and so on. And All Sides provides you with a curated list of news and opinion pieces from publications that are clearly labeled as leaning left, leaning right, and centrist. Click on any of them and you go right to the full original article. This site would be an excellent resource for anyone who teaches history, social studies, or any kind of writing or research where students need to support their ideas with textual evidence. The site also includes free classroom activities like a red-blue dictionary, topic pages with background information on popular current events topics, and lesson plans for teachers. The only thing about this site that I'm not crazy about is that there are a lot of ads that pop up and just make it really cluttered, but that's how they keep it free. So I like this one. I was trying to decide between this one and procon.org, and I chose this one mostly because you actually get the articles where this stuff comes from. Procon.org does a good job of just sort of summarizing and putting in just really small bits of textual evidence and quotes and that sort of thing and kind of organizing the issues nicely. But you don't get to read the full article where the quote comes from. So I was working with my son a little while ago, and he was writing a paper that he had to cite evidence, and he kept just citing procon.org as his source. And I thought that's not quite your source, but it was too hard for him to find the original source. I mean, he sort of could, but I feel like I like All Sides better only because you actually get the original article. So that's that one. But procon.org is another one that I'm featuring in this section of the guide. Okay. Number 3 is Google Lens. Do you ever wish that you could Google something that you're looking at, something that you don't know the name of? That is what Google Lens can do. You just point your smartphone camera at an object, an image, even a plant, and the app can give you information about it. Point it at text in one language and translate it into another. Point it at a math problem and it'll help you find a solution. Point it at any text, special ed teachers, this one's for you, and the app will read it out loud to you. I just tried this with the paragraph you're listening to right now, and then I took it over to a box of pasta, and it worked on both. I was pretty amazed. This is, every year I have one tool in the list that kind of blows me away, and this one definitely was that. It was able to identify a plant that I have out on my porch as a Swiss cheese plant. I never knew what it was called. This one's just really cool, but it actually does have some academic applications for, accessibility issues and research in general and that sort of thing. Augmented reality and machine learning, they just get cooler every year. And this app is not only one of the most fun ways to play around with it, it might also just become one of the most useful tools you have on your phone. So that's Google Lens. Tool number 4 is called Bulb. Oh, sorry, I forgot to give you the website for Google Lens. So it's lens.google.com. Number 4 is called Bulb, and the website for Bulb is bulbapp.com. So bulb like a light bulb. Bulb is a portfolio tool, a digital portfolio tool. Portfolio assessment is a fantastic alternative to grading, and a tool like Bulb makes putting together a digital portfolio a pleasure. I've got a section in the guide just for digital portfolio tools, and I chose this one just because the design is really clean and simple, and I just really liked it. So on Bulb, users can create separate portfolio pages for different purposes, and they can organize those into collections. The individual pages can include text, images, videos, embedded content from other apps, and even attached files. You can set privacy for individual pages, which makes it easy to decide who sees what, and pages can be revised and updated at any time. The possibilities for this kind of tool are vast. It could be used by students to put together portfolios for capstone projects, genius hour projects. It could be used to showcase creative work like visual art, writing, photography, even speaking videos or video editing. They could use it to collect artifacts of performance in sports or extracurricular activities, or they could build a portfolio for college applications. Teachers could also use this site to create a professional portfolio or gather items around some other interest or passion. I just think this one has lots and lots of directions that you could take it. And it's almost like creating a little website, but it's really just for like sort of showing off, your stuff. So that's called Bulb, and it's bulbapp.com. Number 5 is called Embrace Race, and you can find them at embracerace.org. This year's guide also contains a brand new social justice and anti-racism category featuring a huge collection of 24 websites, apps, YouTube channels, and other digital resources that can help teachers educate themselves and their students more deeply on issues around discrimination and how to work actively toward a more just world. Only one of those listings is Embrace Race, which is a site that was created by an interracial couple who wanted to do a better job of educating their children about race. The site offers resources, discussion spaces, webinars, and networks to meet the challenges of raising children in what they call a world where race matters. The site is not directed at educators specifically, but teachers will still find their resources useful, and it would also be a good site to share with parents. Although the resources in that section of the guide are excellent, all 24, I chose this one out of that section to feature here because it emphasizes conversation and it goes deep. It's tempting at times to look for fast fixes to race-related problems. And really, there's no such thing. Long-term change requires sustained thought, honest talk, and reflection. And the work they're doing at Embrace Race embodies all of these really well. So number 6, I'll do number 6 and then I'll read through the list one more time. Number 6 is Prezi Video. So anybody who knows Prezi, the presentation tool, that's the one where things spin around and and you get a little dizzy sometimes. They've got the cool animations. They now have a new offering called Prezi Video. So it's prezi.com/video. This tool allows you to combine the animation features of a Prezi presentation with a talking head video. And a talking head video, if you've never heard that term, is just a video where you're looking at the person's head, like talking, as opposed to just hearing their voice over, a screen that's showing you other things. So you stay on the screen talking the whole time while your animated presentation is layered right on top of that video. So it's sort of see-through. You can see you behind it. So, and then within that slide presentation, you can share a screen, show a video, provide text or images, or anything else that you would do with a shared screen presentation. It's just that these elements are sort of layered over you. And they've got design features that allow you to kind of move stuff around so that it's not covering your face. I've not seen anything else that's like this. And I thought it was really neat looking. It almost reminds me of if you're watching like a newscast or something where the person will be talking and then graphics will appear beside them, but they are still the main thing on the screen. So after nearly a year of everyone creating videos for hybrid and remote learning, I just really love that this one offers something fresh. You get the really interesting animations that are possible with Prezi, plus the intimacy that comes from having you on the full screen rather than just in a tiny box in the corner. So, even after we get back to normal, and I'm putting that in quotes, I am hoping that all teachers take at least some of the direct instruction they used to deliver via lecture and put it into well-planned, high-quality videos that can be accessed at any time. And using a tool like Prezi Video can make those videos just look really great. So let's go through that list one more time of all 6 tools. The first one is Mote, which is an audio feedback tool. Number 2 is allsides.com, which gives you news articles on both sides of any topic. Google Lens is the smartphone app that you can point at anything and get all kinds of things to happen. Bulb is the digital portfolio tool. Embrace Race is the platform, community, and network that offers lots and lots of spaces for having good conversations about raising kids around issues that have to do with race. And then number 6 is Prezi Video. So I hope that you check these tools out. I hope that at least one of them offers something kind of interesting for your classroom. And then again, if you are interested in the Teacher's Guide to Tech, you can start by going to teachersguidetotech.com. And from there, it'll show you the different sort of buying options. I sell it on 2 different places, so you can see which one works out best for you. And then for links to all of the resources, and there's videos I've got on every single one of these tools actually in the blog post. So if you want to see those and get the links to these different apps, go to cultofpedagogy.com, click podcast, and choose episode 161. Thank you so much for listening. Happy New Year, and have a great day.